Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer. In this video, I'm going to compare Bitcoin versus gold. I'm going to come from an unbiased perspective because I am an experienced investor into both of these assets. I've been investing into precious metals for 8 years now and been posting daily precious metals content for around 6 years on this channel. I started investing into Bitcoin in early 2016 and used to make a lot of educational Bitcoin for beginner type videos. I feel it's only right to compare Bitcoin and gold since they're both becoming so popular among investors and they both have so many similarities but also yet so different. So with that said, let's jump in the video. So as you can see, I dug up a whole bunch of different charts and graphs and arguments debating Bitcoin versus gold and what's the better investment. And I hate that they look at it that way because one's not necessarily quote unquote better than the other. Where Bitcoin lacks, gold benefits, and where gold lacks, Bitcoin benefits, right? Bitcoin is this decentralized coin where you can send across the globe instantly with zero to little fees, stored on a public blockchain that shows every transaction publicly for everyone to see so nothing shady can happen behind the scenes. But then you have something like gold that's been used as money for over 5,000 years that you can hold in your own hand. So it's hard to compare these two. But we're still going to do that on this channel because when it comes to investing, sometimes you got to, if you have a sense of both assets, then you can kind of direct yourself into which direction you want to go. And like I said in the beginning of the video, it's not my job to try to convince you to invest into one or the other. There's a lot of opportunity in both of these for two completely different reasons. Diversification is always key. Anyways, let's look at these charts. I like this first chart because it's a pro and cons list of both Bitcoin and gold, so it's not as biased. It kind of shows the flaws and the benefits of both. So the pros for Bitcoin are that it's higher potential for profits, and the cons are it's extremely volatile. And yes, Bitcoin could rise thousands of percent in a couple months. It honestly can. Now that's extremely risky, but there is a lot of opportunity there. Gold is more of a slower hedge against inflation. The cons for Bitcoin is that it is extremely volatile, so that can also kick you in the butt, right? A lot of people lose a lot of money investing into Bitcoin, but they also make a lot of money. So the second one is it's easy to store, which yes, Bitcoin is extremely easy to store if you know what you're doing. You also can screw yourself over. There's no Bitcoin police. There's no bank of Bitcoin. If you send your Bitcoin to the wrong address, if you lose your 12-word phrase, or if you lose your cold wallet or your Ledger Nano and you don't have the backup or the private key, you could be screwed, right? So it's dangerous on that sense as well, though. So the cons are it could be replaced by another crypto, which it could, but Bitcoin is definitely Bitcoin, right? I mean, nothing is going to top Bitcoin. There's only 21 million minted, or I guess not minted, but 21 million supply, which is extremely low for a global coin, and 16 million have already been mined, basically like dug up out of, out of the crypto sphere. So that's, I mean, if you're thinking about, if you do the math, there's only 5 million Bitcoin left to be found. And once those are gone, everyone that owns them will be able to set the price because there is no more to get, right? That's something to think about. So transactions are faster, which I guess if you're looking at buying Bitcoin on Coinbase compared to buying gold on APMEX, yes, it would be faster. It takes about 2 weeks for your package to arrive unless you go to a local coin shop. But the cons for that is intangible asset, right? You can't hold it. And the saying of the stackers is if you can't hold it, you don't own it. And that's why cold wallets are so important. A hot wallet is basically Coinbase. Coinbase is a hot wallet because if Coinbase goes offline, or if the internet, let's say Coinbase goes offline, you can't access your Bitcoin. Or let's say Coinbase shuts down. You can't access your Bitcoin if you're storing it on Coinbase. But if you have your Bitcoin on Exodus, even if Coinbase shuts down, you still have your Bitcoin because it's stored offline in a cold wallet. That's something extremely important that people need to know about. So another pro is that it's harder to steal. I guess it is, a lot easier to break in someone's home and steal their gold than to steal Bitcoin. When it comes to cryptocurrency, it's not as easy to hack wallets if you store it securely. If you don't, then yes, it is very easy to steal. It has unproven value, which it kind of makes sense, but I could also say that with gold and silver, right? Spot price is irrelevant because the value of that coin is the 1 ounce inside of it, not the spot price attached to it. Another pro is user anonymity, I like that because it is anonymous, right? I mean, especially if you're using something like Monero, it is very anonymous, and that's why it was used on the dark web originally for a lot of illegal activity. So the con of that is risk of unknown technical flaws, right? Like I said, there's no Bitcoin police, no Bank of Bitcoin. I had to learn about Bitcoin and all that back in the early days where I literally had to learn like cryptography. It wasn't as easy to just send it to Exodus. It was confusing back in the day. So anyway, some of the pros and cons of gold are it's less volatile. And it's definitely true. I mean, it's more of a hedge against inflation. It's a store of value. It's like putting your money in a time capsule. So it's a lot safer and more trusted. Cons are lower potential profits, which I could argue that because with especially silver nowadays, there's a reason why my name is Silver Slayer, not Gold Slayer. There are a ton of reasons why silver especially could become explosive, and it's already starting to happen, but it's a whole separate video. Another pro is historical proven value. I mean, for 5,000 years, it's been proven as valuable and always will. Easier to confiscate, which is true. Larger market cap, which is true. Bitcoin only has 21 million. Harder to store. I could get, if you're not as tech savvy, then Bitcoin would be a lot harder to store. Tangible asset, that's a pro. Difficult to send and receive. That's definitely true, but why would you be sending or receiving it? You're holding it yourself. It's an inflation hedge, which is a pro, and market manipulation, which definitely has a downside, especially for the silver market. But we also do see Bitcoin manipulation as well. Banks like JP Morgan call Bitcoin a scam, and then directly after get caught buying millions of dollars in Bitcoin as soon as they shot the price down. And they did that so they can get it for cheaper. But the blockchain stores everything publicly, so they got caught doing it. Let's go to the next chart. I like this one because it also does show similarities like I was talking about earlier in the video. So it's tangible, gold is physical, Bitcoin is digital, thus intangible asset. History, gold has thousands of years of history backing it. Bitcoin has about a decade. Volatility, gold is less volatile, Bitcoin's highly volatile. Risk and returns, gold has low risk, low return, Bitcoin has high risk and high return. Government control, Bitcoin or gold is under the control of futures markets, and Bitcoin is not in or under government control. Fungibility, gold is difficult to send and receive. Bitcoin is easy to send and receive. Liability of confiscation, gold is easy to confiscate. Bitcoin is difficult to confiscate. And scarcity, gold is rare, but supply is not fixed. Supply is fixed, right? There's only 21 million. Here's some similarities. 1, globally accepted. Both are. 2, both investments are speculative in nature. 3, both are costly to mine. 4, limited in supply. 5, have safe haven properties in economic collapses. And 6, impossible to counterfeit. And I love that they also added the similarities because it is true. If you're trying to get your money out of fiat, out of fake money, out of paper money, then Bitcoin or gold are both perfect options. This next chart shocked me, genuinely did. Showing gold's price from 1970 to 1980 when it rallied, and Bitcoin's price August 2011 to November 2017, and they look almost identical. You can see that gold broke right above $800. This is when we saw $50 silver, and you can see Bitcoin's this is when it rose to right above $7,000, and then it led to $18,000 several months after this. But you could see the similarities in the patterns, and I'm curious to see this moving forward, especially nowadays with a global pandemic, how Bitcoin's price will be moving compared to gold's, especially with the aftermath. Right now we see gold down to around $35,000 when it was as high as almost $60,000, but we also saw gold break through all-time highs with $2,000 last year, and now it's down to around $1,800. So I like the title of this next one. It's called Old School versus New Kid on the Block. And it kind of reminds me of when I first started talking about Bitcoin on my channel back in 2016. A lot of people were scared because it's new, right? A lot of people aren't tech savvy, especially some of the older investors. A lot of people didn't trust Bitcoin, especially the reputation it had coming from the dark web or illegal activity on the internet. But you have to adjust and adapt with the times, right? I was telling people to buy Bitcoin since it was $1,200, and so many people doubted me and told me I was messing up and all this. But now look, right? Now those are the people wishing they would have bought Bitcoin at $1,200, the same people that were telling me not to. So this chart shows the qualities of gold and crypto. It has intrinsic value where crypto doesn't, low volatility where crypto doesn't, recognized globally, they both do, highly liquid. Gold, yes. Crypto, somewhat. Now, they both are confidential, and if you have gold or Bitcoin, I highly recommend you don't tell a whole bunch of people, especially with gold, or you might have your front door kicked down. But when it comes to transportation and storage fees, gold, it has an X where gold's not really hard to store. You can fit $100,000 of gold in your shoebox. I don't recommend you do that, but you can. And when it comes to crypto, they say it is easy to store. So let's go to the next chart. This next one brings some very interesting points to the table. Now it's talking about how Bitcoin has 21 million coins and gold supply is unknown. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. Look at the silver shortage, right? It's right now there's extremely high premiums on silver because it's becoming more scarce. It's harder to find out of the ground. A lot of silver is going to be needed up over the next couple decades with, 5G, electric vehicles, the photovoltaic cells and solar panels with the Green New Deal. That almost brings a positive aspect to it. Another point is it's easy to verify, which yes, and gold, they're saying it's hard to verify, where it's pretty easy to verify gold. I guess by the naked eye it might not be, but there's tons of different ways to make sure that your gold or silver is legit. I actually just made a video about that the other day. And then the last point they're saying is can be sent cheaply over the internet, yes, and third parties for large quantities with gold, and that's why I always say that I would never put my money in the PSLV or GLD or any type of third-party vault or even your safety deposit box. If you can't hold it, you don't own it, and I wouldn't be sending gold to anyone anyways in any type of manner at all. I couldn't think of any circumstance where I'd be doing that, so it really doesn't matter. But anyways, at the end of the day, they both have pros, they both have cons. There's benefits to both for two different reasons. So if you looked at this video and you saw some things that might pique your interest or a direction you think might suit you better, then go for it. And also play to yourself. If you're very tech savvy, if you're someone that likes numbers and likes learning about all the altcoins and all that, then do that. But if you're someone who doesn't want to get in the whole confusing mess with cryptocurrency and you're more simple-minded that just wants to buy something and hold it and store it, for wealth, for preservation of wealth, then maybe gold and silver is the direction you should go, or maybe both, right? Or maybe none. I mean, investing isn't for everyone. I hate to say that, but some people just don't have the patience. They don't understand the true value of the dollar yet. They might just end up burning through their bank account with nothing to show for. So anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you invest into gold or Bitcoin or neither or both. I would love to know. Like I said, I've been making a lot of different videos on this channel for a long time. Now I stick to silver. I did make a second channel just strictly talking about Bitcoin because my fans, my hardcore silver stacking fans, started to get mad that I was talking about Bitcoin all the time. So I made a second channel called Crypto Slayer. Now that channel has turned into a shorts where I post my silver stack, my physical silver stack, 15, 30-second videos. But yeah, so, I'm experienced in both of these. I've been through the ringer with both of these. I've made a lot of money with Bitcoin, lost a lot of money with Bitcoin. It's just, I've done it all. I mean, I really have. When you invest into anything for several years, especially in the crazy times we live in, you get pretty experienced pretty freaking fast, right? Every angle that comes at you is just a learning opportunity. And that's what I always try to say, right? Take every situation and try to learn from it so you're always at least becoming more experienced and that won't happen the next time. So anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. If you thought this video was 1, educational, 2, informational, 3, at least entertaining, make sure to smash the like button. I post daily videos. I'm also doing a 45,000 subscribers silver giveaway. Entry video is up right now, but I'm posting the winner tomorrow, or actually today. This video will be up tomorrow morning. So yeah, so make sure you go enter, because this is literally your last chance to enter before I announce the winner. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.